So I'm going to tell a quick little story here that hopefully we'll hear over the neighbors putting a new roof on their house. June 30th was a day that the thing I was doing as a professional endeavor came to an abrupt and unforeseen stop. So because of that, I have been contemplating what I could do next, what the next step is, and of course the guitars call to me. Maybe this is the thing that makes me do it for real. So, a real quick story. Tunguska guitars. A few people have said, why? What does that even mean? So, back when I was a kid, I learned about the Tunguska event. 1908, middle of Siberia, something big almost hit the Earth. Maybe it was a meteor, asteroid, comet. Experts think it was one of those three. Right before it hit the ground, it vaporized, boom, laid forest flat in a radial pattern for miles and miles and miles, and no crater. Okay, that fascinated me enough just as a thing when I was a kid, but what really clinched it as a young sci-fi freak was the fact that some witness accounts said that it changed course before it exploded. A spaceship. Of course, I was hooked. Another theory was it was a mini black hole that passed through the Earth, and folks were like, well, where was the exit wound on the other side? And whatever. So anyway, clearly, really into it. Years and years later, it always stuck with me. When I started my first band, our first band, Collins Gate, one of the songs I wrote that led to that was called Tunguska Love Affair, and it turned out to be one of my favorites. I still like it all these years later. And my movie production company was Tunguska Pictures, though I was never quite sure that actually quite fit. And so as a joke, when I started doing the guitar stuff, I said, let's call it Tunguska Guitars. As a joke, thinking a better name would come along, but it just kind of fit. I really like it. So I was jumping on the website for the guitar stuff just to flesh out the why the name bit of the story, and did a little research to make sure I had my facts straight, and discovered that the Tunguska event happened on June 30th, 1908. 115 years to the day before I had to contemplate what's next. Does that mean anything? I don't know. I choose to say it means that I should pay attention to the date, and that it's a good sign. So let's get on with the real reason we're here and start working on the guitar some more. Something went a tad bit awry when I was using my template to make this little connection here between the top and the body. And as you can see right in here, there is a gap where the only thing I can figure is my template shifted while I was doing the route. Got me. I've been trying to figure out what I can do to fix this. And as it turns out, this curve here is pretty good. So I need to fix this one. So what I did was I got my little compass here, and I measured out exactly how wide this copper strip was, this copper bar, and I went down in here and ran the compass right along the edge of the top, scribing a mark that I knew I wanted to cut away on the body. Now the problem with that was, how exactly am I going to do that? How am I going to route just this? So I could try to make a template, and I did. I've got this template here, and I thought, okay, I'll take it and I'll just move it 1/8 of an inch this way. But it became really tricky about how to guarantee I was moving it exactly 1/8 of an inch that would still line up with any weird imperfections, that little microscopic imperfections that I don't want to have to do too much filling. So then it occurred to me, it's like, well, okay, well, what if I leave it here? Because, this matches up nice. And got an undercutting, a slotting bearing bit for the router, and then just undercut the template. So I got that very thing. Line everything up. I'll double stick tape this thing down, pull this away and just cut underneath this by the 1/8 of an inch that I need. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be cool. That is officially gonna be cool. I might try to get this a little more flush, but I kind of like how it floats up a bit. I just have to make sure that doesn't screw up anything where the strings are going to cross to the tail pieces, the individual tail pieces I'm going to make. But yeah, I'm digging that. I've been thinking a lot about how I want to do the control cavity cover, and decided to do something I've seen a lot of other folks do lately, which is instead of just being a cover that sets in, I'm going to do the whole back of this bottom arm. I'm going to route that down about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to accent it with some of this wood from the top. And I think it's going to look pretty groovy. So got my little jig set up so I can route the at least this edge correctly, and then have something to rest the router on for the rest of it, which seems nice and solid at this point. We'll see if it continues to be so. So yeah, let me start routing. All right. This is a little thick, but I figured I was gonna have to sand it down anyway. So now I just have to trace the line and cut this out, and I think I'll be able to start drilling out the cavity itself. Woohoo! One of the things I need to do before I glue the top down is recess my copper strip in a little bit. And I've been trying to figure out how to do that. And well, really the best way to do it is with a bearing router bit. Now this is 1/8 of an inch. This is like 3/16, and that's the smallest bearing bit I could find. So we're gonna recess this down. I don't think I'm gonna go the whole way. I think I'm gonna leave a little bit of an edge, just a little bit up. Is that gonna cause a problem? Might cause a problem. I have to think about that real quick, clearly, because I'm about to do it. But yeah, I think that'll do the trick. All right. So that didn't work at all. The bearing on the bearing bit didn't act as a guide. It just dug right into the wood as if the bit was in contact with it, which it wasn't. So I guess I have to come up with a different solution. Either, well, I'll have to think about that. I suppose I could try to get my hands on a little super thin plane and like a router plane and do something with that, although that's not really what I was hoping to do. Or just leave it sitting tall, or put it on and then try to grind it down with an angle grinder. I don't know. I don't mind dealing with mistakes when they're my fault, but when the tool doesn't do what it's supposed to, that kind of pisses me off. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll find out shortly how I fixed it. And before I get started, shameless plug. The shirt's from a post-apocalyptic comedy web series I directed about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that, called Dark Age. Scroll down to my channel here and you'll stumble across season 1 and season 2 in movie form. I highly recommend it, if I do say so myself. All right, I think I'm gonna glue it up. I keep feeling like I'm forgetting something really, really vital before I do this. But just about every step that I have to do moving forward means the top's got to be glued onto the body. What I'm going to do is get it all glued up and clamp it down and let it dry for a bit, and then I should be able to still remove the copper bar. Should, he says, so I can take care of all the routing and stuff without having this in the way, because I do like how this kind of rises up above, as it were. I don't know, is it the best idea? Is it going to get in the way when you're playing? I don't think so. I mean, if the bridge is here and I round this down so you don't slice yourself open. Worst case, if I discover there is a problem, I can always maybe address that in the future, but I kind of like the way it looks, so we're going for it. turning back now. Got some bits that keep leaking out of the holes. Maybe I should just let it dry a little bit and come back and get those bits out while they're still a little squishy, but they're not liquid. Top is glued on, and I'm really happy with it. I'm not seeing any issues. I was able to pry the copper bar out of the slot nicely, which was looked a little dicey for a second. There's a little blob of glue that looked like it was going to cause me problems, but all came out well. I'm going to route the neck pocket first, and I may have underthought myself, words to that effect. I wanted to do a kind of a groovy carve on the heel of the neck, and in my head and on paper, bringing this lower bout in a little farther was going to be cool. But there's a little more of a gap here than I think I had accounted for. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's still going to work the way I had in my head. It'll just be nice to see it done and a neck fitted, to know that I actually am right, and my 3D thinking isn't gone all 4D and alternate dimensions, and I'm completely wrong about how this is going to work. But everything about this is kind of bizarro, so we'll just adjust and persevere. So this is the third time I'm trying to record this piece, because I keep doing the head in the clouds off the top of the frame thing, because it's one of those days. Anyway, I've got myself a neck pocket, which is lovely and groovy and all that stuff. I also have the control cavity, which I totally neglected to film the making of that, so this is what it looks like. As of right now, it is September 22nd, so it has taken me 2.5 months to do this episode. I'll be honest, the forced career change that I talked about at the beginning of the video has kind of thrown me. It's hit me harder than I expected it would. Maybe my resilience is a bit on edge lately because let's say because of the weather. Yeah, that's it, the weather. It's been so damn hot I haven't been able to get in here either. I inadvertently broke my mini split. Nothing major. I was shifting some piping and there was a coolant leak, and no big deal, tightened it up, everything's fine. But it's going to cost more to put the coolant back into it legally than it cost me to buy the thing in the first place. So it's just kind of on hold for a second. But the good news is, now that I've kind of gotten back into the right headspace, the episodes are going to come faster now. The neck one's shot for the most part. I got a couple things left to do, but not much. That'll come quick. I'm going to do something cool, I hope. So these aren't the pickups, but the idea is going to be that the pickups will be black-faced. I've been working with Mark on what we're going to do with this. Black-face blade pickups, and I've got a sheet of this copper, and I'm going to trim it, and we're going to wrap it around the edge to kind of mimic what's going on in the body here. Should be pretty cool. After that, I'm going to work out how to make the individual tail pieces out of this, what I thought was just a simple copper rod. It's an alloy, and it is damn hard. As you'll see in the episode about this, I tried something that totally failed, so I've got to kind of rework how I'm going to do it, but it's still, I hope, going to be pretty cool. But we're getting close to fit and finish. I know it kind of doesn't look like it. There's, this wood is a challenge, shall I say. No guts, no glory, right? So anyway, thanks for being patient, as it's taken me so long to get this out. I really do appreciate it. Do the like, subscribe, share dance so we can go toe to toe with the algorithm. And if you like this, share it with a buddy. That's all I ask. And there's going to be a couple other episodes coming up. There's this is just part of it. 3 guitars in 3 weeks idea. That's turned more into 3 guitars in 2.5 months because life. The Xanadu, we're going to be winding the pickups on that out of that 50-year-old wire from the original. And then that one's damn near done. I think we got to put frets and pickups. A lot of videos are going to hit pretty quick, so that's maybe a good thing, I hope. It feels good to get back into the right place to do this. And it's really nice to have the weather mellow down to the point where I can and not sweat all over these things, because that's just terrible. So, love you guys, and see you soon.